You know that feeling when life feels stuck. Not terrible, not great, just quietly familiar. You tell yourself you want change, a new job, a deeper relationship, a different version of you. And yet when the opportunity comes, something inside hesitates. You feel resistance, doubt, a quiet fear that whispers, maybe it's not the right time. So you stay where you are. And strangely, that fear doesn't feel like danger. It feels like safety. You've probably felt this before, but maybe you never asked why. Why would something that limits us also make us feel protected? Why does fear sometimes feel comfortable?
You probably think it's just laziness, or maybe a lack of confidence. The idea that you're not ready yet, not qualified enough, not strong enough. That's the explanation most people give when they avoid taking risks or stepping outside their comfort zone. You tell yourself you're just being practical. You wait until you're more prepared, more stable, more sure. And from the outside, it even looks responsible. Staying in the job that drains you, staying in the relationship that no longer grows, staying in the version of yourself that feels small but safe. You scroll for hours, convincing yourself you're learning. You dream of change, but never actually move. And every day, it becomes easier to justify why you're still waiting. It feels logical. It feels rational. But the truth goes deeper than that. Because the fear that holds you back isn't always fear of failure. Sometimes, it's fear of losing the identity you've built around safety itself.
Deep down, your brain loves patterns, even painful ones. It's wired for predictability, not happiness. And so it clings to what it knows. When something feels familiar, your nervous system relaxes. Even if that familiarity comes from anxiety, loneliness, or self-doubt. It's not that your mind likes the discomfort, it's that it understands it. Psychologists call this the comfort zone, but in truth, it's a survival loop. Your body associates the known with safety, and the unknown with potential threat. So every time you face something uncertain, a new path, a new version of you, your brain sends a subtle warning. Stay here. It's safer. It's the same mechanism that once kept our ancestors alive. In a dangerous world, predictability meant survival. But in the modern world, that same instinct can quietly imprison you. Your fear of change isn't weakness. It's an ancient protection system misfiring in a peaceful world. You're not afraid of the future itself. You're afraid of losing the security that the present illusion gives you. That's why fear feels like safety, because biologically, it is.
Think about how this plays out in real life. You stay in a relationship that doesn't fulfill you, not because you're blind to the truth, but because leaving would mean stepping into uncertainty. You stick with a career that numbs you, not because you love it, but because it defines who you are. You replay old habits, old emotions, old pain, because at least you know how they work. The unknown is terrifying, not because it's dangerous, but because it demands the death of the familiar. And identity loves familiarity. It tells you better the pain you understand than the possibility you don't. That's how people build quiet prisons out of comfort. They confuse peace with predictability. They confuse fear with safety. And beneath all that, there's grief, a subtle sadness that comes from realizing how long you've lived inside your own walls. You start to see how many times you've mistaken anxiety for intuition, hesitation for wisdom, stagnation for peace. It's not self-sabotage, it's self-preservation, just in the wrong direction.
The truth is simple. The mind doesn't protect what makes you happy. It protects what makes you feel safe. And safety, when left unexamined, can become a cage. Maybe the goal isn't to fight your fear, or to force yourself into endless change. Maybe it's to notice when fear is pretending to be safety. To ask quietly, am I protecting myself or just my comfort? You can't stop this pattern overnight, but every time you recognize it, something loosens. The walls crack a little. The familiar becomes just a bit less convincing. And one day, you'll realize that the safest place you can stand is not behind your fear, but just